Corey, I got some razor in the.
No, I'm going now. You don't like it?
I don't know what you're laughing at, Bess. You can't even grow one yet.
Miami's coming off a big win over Notre Dame. They seem to play well at home.
Yeah, they've played well. You know, a top 20 team with great experience, great guard play, with Chicardi inside, probably the best defensive post player in the league, but also vastly improved offensively. You know, and they're one of those teams that have great depth. You know, last game against Notre Dame, kid comes off the bench who's been averaging 4 points a game, leads them in scoring and gives them a huge lift. And they have the depth, but they have a really good rotation as well. So guys know when they're going to play and what they need to do. And it's obviously with Jim's team, they're always well coached, always tough, always physical, but they're so explosive offensively as well.
They're a good example of how it's tough to win on the road in the ACC. They're 6-3, and all 3 of their losses have been on the road.
Right. You know, you have to play really well in a game just to win in this league, and then when you're on the road, you got to play maybe even better than that. And again, you know, some couple tough losses. They were up against, you know, at Clemson, and they're just, you know, they're a team that obviously is going to battle for the league title in this, battle for when the tournament comes around. But they're definitely a team, when you get in the NCAA, you can see them winning 4 games. They're good enough to do that. There's no question about that. I think they've proven that.
Josh and Travis, how would you evaluate what you're getting out of them right now?
At times we're getting, you know, exactly what we need, but we need more.
Yeah.
We need more. And I think they both understand that, and they, you know, have been really focused in on the practice part of it to make sure that they're doing what they need to do. You know, and it starts with them setting the tone for us defensively, and then them, you know, doing a good job of getting us into the pace that we want to play at and getting us into our offense. And when the opportunity presents itself to score some baskets, to be ready to do that.
With just in the half court, are they doing enough to initiate and just to create for you, or is it?
You know, it's an area I think we need more of from both of them.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about the guys who are good at driving the ball and so forth, and both those guys probably need to do a little more of that.
Yeah.
You know, their assist to turnover ratio is great, and a lot of that comes from within the flow of the offense.
Right.
But probably we need them creating a couple more opportunities for us on offense.
So you want the guy that's bringing the ball up court to be able to, a guy that can take the ball to the hoop.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's not going to be on that
Right away,
initial,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But once the set breaks down, or now you're into your options off that set, to be able to, you know, make some plays, and a little bit is aggressiveness, a little bit is them being, you know, more assertive, and they got to feel confident in the fact that that's what we need them to do.
After Marcus had that hard fall, it appeared that he struggled a little to do what he normally does in the game. How is he now?
Yeah, I think, you know, the 2 days off have been very beneficial when it comes to that. You know, the other thing is there's a cumulative effect. That was our 3rd game in 6 days, first 2 on the road. You know, and it's I thought a little bit in that second half, you know, and even more so with Marcus, because not being at 100% after that fall. And you guys know when you get hurt like that in a game, you kind of play through it, and then the next day
it hits you.
Yeah, you know, but I think that contributed a little bit to it as well.
You expect to be able to play though on Sunday?
Yeah, he should be good to go. He wasn't, you know, obviously the last 2 days because of the schedule. Again, you know, a quirk in our illustrious schedule. You know, you got to take 2 days off in a row. You know, so guys kind of have to, you know, come in on their own and get some stuff done. But we didn't practice the last 2 days.
Miami has 4 guys scoring in double figures, spread the scoring around, but the one guy that isn't in double figures is really gets on the boards pretty hard, Jakiri.
Yeah.
Averaging almost 10 rebounds a game.
Yeah, as I said, he's kind of made his mark in this league as a great low post defender and help defender and shot blocker and physical presence around the basket. But he's so much improved offensively. It's a really good story just in terms of where he was 4 years ago compared to where he is right now. The patience that you have to have, both as a player and as a coaching staff, and now they're reaping the benefits of it.
I know that when you have Marcus at the point that does some things for you defensively, and obviously it's good to have him having the ball more. Ideally, though, would you rather have it where Josh and Travis are playing the ball and you have Marcus on the wing where he can flash a little more?
Yeah, what we've done is gone at times with the hybrid with Marcus at the point or Adam at the point where we get another scorer in there with Todrick, who played very well the other night, or Q, who's played well for us. The basketball is changing, obviously, quite a bit, where, the traditional point guards are few and far between,
Right.
But, again, I think it's game situations, it's matchups, it's different things like that you have to look at.
Todrick, would he have it in him? I mean, I don't know if he can do it now, but just he's so good at finishing and so good at getting to the basket, and he seems to be getting better at passing the ball up in the situations. Is that something where you could eventually see him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
playing a role?
Yeah. Again, not that traditional point guard thing, but more of a scoring point guard.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that. Has to get a little tighter with his handle. You know what I mean? Right now in league play, he's shooting 52% from inside the 3. So he needs to be strategic in his 3-point shooting right now, because the other thing he's doing now, he's shooting almost 80% from the free throw line in the league. But his ability to slash and cut and drive is something that's good, and he's pretty good in the open court with the ball. It would be more in the half court initiating, and also there's a feel for it, that Marcus has because of his experience, Adam has because of his experience, that down the road, he's very similar. We're playing Miami. He's very similar to the kid that they had a few years ago, Durant Scott. You know what I mean? Very similar. And as a junior and senior, Scott was able to play at the point. And so when you look at combo guards, especially in this league, it usually takes a couple years for them to get to that point.
He appears to be getting to the point where he's strong enough to accept that role too.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Plus, he's in better condition now, and all those different things, and maturity-wise.
When you look at the standings, I imagine you're not very excited about it, but I'm sure you're not ready to throw yourself off a bridge. So I imagine you're somewhere in between. Can you kind of, what are your thoughts and feelings about
that? Well, you take a look at a lot of different things, you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about where you're at right now. All you can do is concentrate on where you want to get to. And we have a great opportunity in these next nine games to change things around quite a bit. They talked to Rod earlier, in the power rankings, we're 47th in the country. The Miami game will be our 12th game against top 53 teams.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Our strength of schedule in that is 4th. You know what I mean? So everything is relative when you're looking at stuff. At the same time, the thing that's concrete is where you're at right now.
Right. Yeah.
And so we have to take a look at resetting a few things in terms of, heading into these 9 games, and that will be the challenge for us.
When you say resetting,
just in terms of looking at, okay, what are some things that we really need to tighten up to make a difference in these next 9 games, individually and collectively, with a lot of games still in front of us. As you said, there's time to change this whole thing around.
Right.
In sports, you hear talk about players in their first year hitting the wall at a certain point in their first season of playing. This is Ben's first year. What are you seeing from him in terms of that
Well, you know, I think again, because of his role, that might be a little different, and because, you know, towards the end of last year and different things, he was mentally always into games for when that opportunity came, and I thought, you know, last year he showed some flashes, but I think he's fine when it comes to that. You know, he has a very strong competitive streak to him, which might not be evident because of his laid-back, shorts on, Van shoes approach to life in general. But I think that will help him in that. You know what I mean? So I don't foresee anything in terms of him hitting the wall.
Resetting stuff. I imagine defensively, two things might be just. You all talk about like scrambling and transition, and defending. I imagine that's one area, just defending better. And when
yeah, I think our transition defense has to improve. A lot of that, you know, and some of that has to do sometimes with some empty possessions and right. So forth. Your offense sometimes sets up your transition defense. We have to, you know, continue to get better at guarding the basketball, just one-on-one guarding the basketball. And in this day and age, if you don't have multiple ball screen coverages ready to be used, then you can put your defense in a tough spot as well. You know, so you know, in the Duke game, I wasn't pleased with our transition defense or our scrambles. You know, when you scramble, you gotta. Doesn't matter who you guard. Right. They have 5 guys, you have 5 guys, and you got to find somebody and guard them. You know, and then we need to keep doing. We're a low turnover team. We need to continue to do that. We need to make sure that when we get quality shots around the rim, we finish those. That's a big key for us. That's a big key for us. And you know, we got to make sure that, you know, offensively, we've been a very good execution team. We need to continue to do that, and that all those areas are things that you're constantly, you know what I mean? Yeah, constantly have to improve in as the season progresses. Because if there's slippage in those, they really are highlighted in games.
Is a lot of that transition defense mental, where you got to switch to the defensive mode instead of thinking about what just happened on
a little bit, and I think you know, everybody's, you know, human too. When you execute well and you get an open, you know, in that stretch, really that game was determined in that 4-minute stretch when it was a 1-point game with 12 something to go, and then at the 9-minute mark it was a 13-point game or a 15-point game. We had, I think it was 6 out of 7 empty possessions with 2 really good looks at the 3 and 3 shots around the basket. And so sometimes your transition defense is deflated because of you just worked for a good shot and you didn't put it in, and that's, you know, you need to be able to, you know, get back. But at the same time too, our some of our coverages in that were not what they needed to be.
Very good.
All good?
Thank you.
All right.